Let's bring in our roundtable now. Purple Strategies Chair and strategist for a pro-Trump super PAC, Alex Castellanos, ABC News contributor and Republican strategist Ana Navarro, former National Press Secretary for the Bernie Sanders campaign, Simone Sanders, and Democratic strategist and deputy campaign manager for Obama in 2012, Stephanie Cutter. That was quite a mouthful, all your titles there. So Alex, let me start with you. Let's talk about the big issue of the week, immigration. It sounded to me from Chris Christie, from what Chris Christie said, that he really is rethinking sending all 11 million undocumented workers out of the country. So is this a smart pivot or a flip-flop?
Who says Republicans aren't the party of evolution? Republicans get accused of not listening and learning, and I think on this issue, Donald Trump is listening and learning, and now, of course, he's being criticized for that.
Is he listening and learning because he saw the polls, and most of the exit polls said...
You know, it's funny the way democracy works,
isn't that amazing?
Isn't it?
Listening and learning to what?
Respond to the voters, but that's not a bad thing. You know, Hillary Clinton has flip-flopped on Iran war. She's flip-flopped on campaign finance. And how does she explain it? She says, well, you know, information changes. We learn and grow.
Okay, Anna, but what he's saying was slammed as amnesty by the most conservative parts of the party about 6 months ago when it came from Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, John Kasich. So will this change matter to his supporters? You heard the people David Wright was talking to. Some seem to like it.
I think this week has been a debacle for Donald Trump. We have seen him hold more immigration positions than the Kama Sutra, and it's all been in 1 week. It's been so hard to keep up with. Different people hear different things because he has been saying so many different things. I don't think this works because, look, you can change the words a person says. You can change the words a person reads off a teleprompter. You can't change a person's heart. Hispanics are not going to forget Judge Curiel. African Americans are not going to forget that he started the birther movement. I don't think Jewish folks forget the anti-Semitic ad against Hillary Clinton. The problem that Donald Trump has is that most humans have a memory, and we're not going to forget it within 1 week. The other problem he has is that he has based his campaign on immigration. It's been a pillar of his campaign from day one, and here we are 2 months out, and he still has no policy.
Going way too far here. I mean, first of all, the anti-Semitic ads, a graphic mistakenly put in a thing. This is turning into a how morally superior are we, the elite in Washington, to Republicans again. And that's a pretty poor way to try to lead the country. And secondly, I think it's still pretty clear that Donald Trump is the anti-illegal immigration candidate in this race. By the way, that's not what he should be focusing on right now. He should be focusing on the economy,
Alex,
moving things forward. So,
but Alex,
yes,
an African-American woman was shot this weekend. Not only an African-American woman, her name was Nikia Aldridge. She was the mother of 4. And his first reaction is to say, I told you so. Vote for Trump. Forget being unfit to be president. He's unfit to be human.
Look, if
was
Republicans...
he raised by wolves?
Wait a minute.
Who has that as a first reaction upon somebody's death, Alex?
If Republicans should be called racist because of what they say, is it fair to ask if Democrats are racist because of what they have done, their policies that have destroyed...
I want to hear from our Democrats.
This argument from a lot of Republicans that we've seen, that we've heard as of late, is that, oh, Democrats are the ones that have ruined these communities across the country. We forget that a lot of these cities are situated in states with Republican-held legislators, with Republican governors. But
30 years and decades of Democratic policies.
The
Do you think they're a
Democratic Party has made people of color, has made LGBTQ individuals, has made Muslims, and so on and so forth, Latinos, Hispanics, African Americans, part of the party. Our chair is an African American woman. We have opened up this party, and black people are not beholden to the Democratic Party.
Tell me that
I think it's ridiculous that, Simone, you even feel like you need to defend the Democratic Party. Alex, I understand that you're supporting Trump and you need something to say about him, but this is just ridiculous to say that Hillary Clinton is a bigot, but Donald Trump has some sort of...
If you're going to... No, it's not, because if you're saying that Republicans are bigots because of what they say, can we look at what Democrats have done?
Exactly what he has done through his 30, 40 years... That's the front page of the New York Times today, that his family...
And Hillary Clinton was calling him
against African Americans and Jewish people. people for 30 years of his career.
Do you think Democratic policies for the last 3 or 4 decades have been a success?
I think
what
that
they've done to
the
Black
Affordable
America?
Care Act
the richest
is giving African Americans access to health care that they didn't have before. Donald Trump wants to overturn that.
You
want to overturn
cities,
that.
Black populations that are
the Democrats
jump in on this.
I think it's so interesting, Martha, that Republicans all of a sudden are interested in the inner cities, but I haven't seen any policies, actual policy prescriptions from Donald Trump.
I'll give you one.
Let's have one from you, Alex, and then we're going to move on to the
Because it's not putting more police in communities, Alex. It's definitely not more police officers.
Would you like one? Let's open up our schools. Let's open up our schools. Education. Give every parent, regardless of race, class, or color, equal opportunity to choose the best school. Democrats are against that. Donald Trump is for it.
Let me ask one question. Which party is actively trying to restrict the ability of African Americans to vote? The Republican Party.
Not the one I'm in. Young people.
Why not give them
totally wrong. Totally wrong. You know what? I believe everyone who votes should have an ID. And I believe the Republican Party should be working. I believe the Republican Party should be working to get more people. Absolutely. How can you live in today's culture without an ID? You can't
There are many people that can't, because actually you speak from a position of privilege.
Let's help everybody.
There are people.
Get an ID. Every Secretary of State should be working on that.
The fact that you have to question how can I think everybody should have an ID, that's a position of privilege. There are people.
So why do you oppose opening up our schools so that every parent, look, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, great parents.
In communities where there is a driver's
Let me praise your president. Can I praise your president? Barack Obama and Michelle Obama chose the best school for their kids. God bless them. Good for them. They're great parents. Why don't we let every American choose the best school for their kids? That's what Republicans want. That's what Donald Trump wants.
Actually,
Democrats
that's not
are
even what Donald Trump is
Let's
talking
open
about.
up
I find
our
this
schools.
interesting, Martha. Can I tell you what I have heard from Donald Trump?
One more, yes.
What I have heard from Donald Trump this week is, again, he's doubling down, tripling down, if you will, on his divisive language against African Americans in this country. He is being very unclear, and he is doubling down still on the fact that he is discriminating against Hispanics and Latinos in this country. Donald Trump is still running the same race he was running a year ago. He just has on different shoes.
Stephanie, I want to turn to the Clinton Foundation. Another topic you might enjoy.
I do have one point, though, that we haven't covered on Donald Trump. Let's be clear. He is not doing this to appeal to African Americans. He is doing this to try to convince a large segment of the Republican Party that he still doesn't have supporting him because they think he's a racist.
And they don't want to vote for a racist, Alex. They don't want to vote for
Okay, we are going to the foundation emails now, like it or not.